The diner sat just off the highway, the kind of place truckers stopped at before dawn and families wandered into on Sunday afternoons. The lights were warm but tired, buzzing softly above cracked vinyl booths. Coffee cups clinked, plates scraped, and a low country song hummed from a radio behind the counter. It was ordinary, too ordinary for what was about to happen. Emily Carter moved between tables quietly, balancing a tray against her hip the way she'd learned after months of double shifts. She was 23, small-framed, her brown hair tied back in a practical ponytail. Her uniform was clean but worn thin at the seams. This job wasn't her dream, it was survival. Tips paid for rent, smiles paid for peace, silence paid for safety. She paused at table 7, the one by the window. 3 men sat there, loud, confident, the kind who took up space like the world owed them something. "Refill?" Emily asked softly, holding the coffee pot with both hands. One of them leaned back, boot stretched into the aisle. "Took you long enough." Another snorted. "She deaf or just slow?" Emily forced a smile, poured the coffee carefully. She'd learned not to react, not to challenge. People like this fed on reactions. But the third man, the biggest, looked her up and down with open contempt. "You know," he said, voice dripping with mockery, "if you moved a little faster, maybe you'd earn that tip." Emily's hand trembled for half a second. She steadied it. "I'll bring your food shortly," she said, already turning away. That should have been the end of it. It wasn't. As she walked back toward the counter, she felt it, something cold splashing against her leg. Coffee, hot, fresh. The diner went quiet. She looked down, coffee soaked through her uniform, searing her skin. Pain flared sharp and sudden. A gasp escaped her before she could stop it. Laughter erupted behind her. "Oops," one of the men said. "Guess she bumped the table." Emily turned slowly. Her eyes burned, not just from the heat, but from humiliation. Every pair of eyes in the diner was on her now. Some sympathetic, some uncomfortable, most silent. "I'm sorry," she whispered automatically, even though she hadn't done anything wrong. That's when the biggest man stood. He stepped closer, towering over her. "You sorry?" he sneered. "You should be. Girls like you should know their place." His hand shoved her shoulder. Emily stumbled backward, hitting the edge of another table. Plates rattled. Someone gasped. "Hey!" An older man near the counter muttered, half standing. The bully snapped his head around. "Sit down! This ain't your business!" The diner froze again. Emily's heart hammered so loudly she was sure everyone could hear it. Her hands shook, her throat closed. She thought about her mother, sick at home, about rent due in 3 days, about how badly she needed this job. "I'll clean it up," she said quietly. "Please." The man laughed. "Nah, I think you should apologize properly." He stepped closer, too close. That's when the door opened. The bell above it rang, a simple, ordinary sound. But something changed. A tall man stepped inside, broad shoulders, calm posture. He wore jeans, a dark jacket, and boots scuffed from real use, not fashion. His hair was cropped short, his face weathered in a way that spoke of discipline, not age. Beside him walked a large German shepherd. The dog paused just inside the doorway, ears alert, eyes locked. The room felt heavier. The man didn't rush, didn't raise his voice. He simply took in the scene. The spilled coffee, the trembling waitress, the man standing far too close. The German shepherd let out a low, controlled growl. It wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. The bully scoffed, turning slightly. "What, you bring your mutt in here to scare people?" The man finally spoke, step away from her. 2 words, flat, calm, unemotional. The bully laughed. Or what? The man's eyes didn't change, but something in the room shifted, a pressure, like the air itself, had decided whose side it was on. The dog sat, perfectly still, waiting. Emily stared at the stranger, her breath shallow. Something about him felt solid, like a wall between her and the chaos. I said, the man repeated quietly. Step away from her. The bully squared his shoulders. You got no idea who you're talking to. The man reached into his jacket. A few people flinched. He didn't pull out a weapon. He pulled out a folded ID and placed it on the counter. The words, United States Navy, caught the light. The manager's eyes widened. The man finally met the bully's gaze fully. And you, he said calmly, have no idea who just walked in. The German shepherd stood. The growl returned, deeper now, controlled, trained. The bully stopped laughing, and for the first time since the coffee spilled, Emily felt something other than fear. She felt hope.